Hey friends, since selling my business back in this year, I've met a lot of other business owners and seen a lot more of the business world than I had when I was just focusing on building my own business. So because of that and because of those experiences, today we're once again revisiting one of my favourite topics, ethics. To start with, let me tell you about something that happened not too long ago after I first started in business. I've been working with one of my biggest customers for only a few months or so when that customer phoned me and told me something really odd. They just had a phone call from a competing IT company, and I won't give away who it was, but I know where you live. Who is calling them say something along the lines of, yeah, we're just calling to talk about your IT as we heard you weren't very happy with IT solutions because they've broken a load of things for you, so we're just calling to talk about our IT offering. But you know what? All that happened next was they got the name of the company that was calling, they put the phone down, picked it back up again to call me, and then tell me who was practicing some of those shady business tactics with phone calls like that. Doesn't really paint you in a good light if you're having to make calls like that to kind of help you grow your business, does it? Right? There are so many important things that you need to remember when running your own business, delivering an outstanding service or creating amazing products, making sure your finances are kept in good order, that you're profitable, that you're employing the right kind of staff, and looking after your customers and looking after the mental health of your staff whilst they're in some potentially difficult situations with working from home and lockdown right now. But also, along all of those things, you should be making an effort to be ethical. And I don't mean you should be sourcing your goods from the finest, most organic and ethical sources because, well, I mean, that's nice and all. But what I'm talking about here is around your business performing their duties in an ethical manner. So today, I'm going to address 3 scenarios that I've come across lately and over the years. And I won't specifically state if they're right or wrong, but I'm just interested to get your comments as to whether they're an ethical grey area. Tell me what you think. So scenario 1 is when a member of staff leaves company A and joins a competing company, company B. Shortly after that, company B then start directly contacting customers of company A, trying to win their business and get them to move providers. This situation means that either the member of staff who joined company B then offered to give them a list of customer names and information from company A, or company B asked the member of staff to give up everything they knew about company A's customers. Now the first one here is definitely a huge grey area, possibly even breach of GDPR, but also theft of data if company IP had been taken from company A. It would also be in clear breach of their employment contract with company A, providing company A had those correct clauses in the contract, which personally I've actually had in every contract I've ever signed. Providing you are clear of all accounts on that first one, then the second one comes into question of asking your newly recruited staff to give over any information that could help them. Personally speaking, I would never ask anybody who joined my business to fess up and give me the names and numbers and addresses for everybody they could remember from their previous company. For one, it would put them in a serious legal position, and for two, well, I put this one to you for ethical conundrum number 1 in this video. Do you think that using new members of staff to go after customers of their previous employers to be the right way to go about winning new business? There are definitely some who I know will say it's not ethical, and I'm very much in this camp myself, but I'm also very sure that there are going to be some people that just say it's just business, and that's how the business wheel turns. I think for me, ethics comes down to a layer further into that decision. Say if you just left a company who weren't playing nicely themselves, maybe ripping customers off or overcharging or just not treating them well, does that then make it okay? Ethical conundrum number 2 is something that I do actually constantly see, and yes, I did actually see this when I sold my own business. What happens this time is that a company goes through some form of significant change, be that a change of ownership, change of direction, or perhaps just some significant important people in the business move on. Then what happens next is a competitor of that business kicks their marketing up a notch and changes the story to like, have you had sudden changes in your IT provider? Throw these all over social media, banner ads, remarketing, all of that stuff. But perhaps they could even mix it up with looking at that company's website, looking at their testimonials perhaps, and then directly contacting some of those businesses of said affected IT company. I think this one is a little bit more okay in the business world in some respects. But again, interested to know, what do you think about this one? Ethical or just business? Ethical conundrum 3 is one that I did do when I started out in business. So I'm prepared to embarrass myself a little bit here. Sorry, not sorry. Let's see what you think about this one. When running Google Ads for your business, most people target their main keywords. So for IT support, it's things like IT support, disaster recovery, managed services, cybersecurity, all of those common phrases. But you may not realise that you can actually target your competitors' names as keywords. So when people are searching for, say, PC Solutions Inc. Birmingham, they could see your name probably even above the actual PC Solutions Inc. company, because your ads will appear above those organic listings. The beauty of this for you is that it is super easy. Just create a campaign with your competitor's name as keyword, but it's also super, super cheap. Because imagine the competition with everybody else in the world trying to target IT support versus just that tiny, tiny proportion who know of and are searching for one specific company. Now, as I mentioned way back when I did actually do this myself, but I did personally take it a step further, because at the time I was learning about keywords, and I can't remember what they're called, smart keywords or something, but there was a way which you possibly could still do with your Google Ads today, which where you are designing your ads, you can actually insert the keywords that they're searching for and the keywords they've typed into your ad. So if they typed in IT support Birmingham, then your ad could then read IT support Birmingham, call now. Of course, this also applies to those competing ads, so people searching for company XYZ could then be shown an ad that says company XYZ. But then when they click on it, it then gets taken to your website instead of the competitor. And at the time, I just thought this was like a really neat marketing trick. But today, well, I think Google have changed the rules to stop you running them in this way because, I mean, I'm sure they got abused and they were, of course, hugely misleading. So, ethical conundrum 3. Should you be running ads, targeted ad campaigns against your competitors? Oh, and also one to add in here, did you know that you can use custom affinity audiences in Google Ads to specifically target people who simply visit a website? Using this in the same way, you can then target people who are visiting your competitors' websites and then target them with your own banner, remarketing adverts, which then follow them around all sorts of other websites as they're browsing around the internet. All of this cheap and really easy to do. But is it ethical? A conundrum I'll leave for you to decide. Do let me know in the comments, how would you approach each one of these situations? Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, bell, all the things. And I'll talk